Sorry, eating. My name is James Williams Jr. This is comeback number 2. This video is important. It's probably going to piss off everybody. I also forgot to lock my door and hit the lights so people didn't know I was recording. But since I was here by myself, I didn't think that would be deemed necessary. So this video is the difference between black people and African Americans. If you are under 18, this video is for you. However, this video will contain foul language. As I'm sure I'm gonna cuss at some point, at some time in this damn video. Just to get that out of the way, let me wash this shit down with some tea. My favorite drink, iced tea. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a Whoopi Goldberg fan, through and through. And she's part of the reason why I live like this. Alright? Now, in case you guys haven't heard this, in every video that I've made, I'm a person of multicultural descent. Let me be clarifying that I am Cherokee, I am black, and I am white. I probably have more Cherokee features than most people, did you know? But you probably don't see a lot of Cherokees running around with feathers and buckskins on, running around in the city of Charlottesville. And you don't. And most of the Native American population is technically Iroquois. And Iroquois, I think, spawned the Cherokee. I don't really know how all that shit works. You have to Google it. You can fact check it. And then you can fill my ass in. But both of my grandmothers, my father's mother and her mother, and my mother's mother, were of Cherokee descent. Do not ask me the tribe of my grandmother on my mom's side because I have no fucking idea, but I know she's Cherokee. Now, as far as my father's mother, she came from the Powhite Reservation. Alright? Well, her mother came from the Powhite Reservation. Clara Bay lived in Smithfield, Virginia. And could make a bean pie. I don't know what that is because I don't eat beans. But anyway, here's the thing. Many years ago, way back when I was like 19 or 20 years old, when I should have been getting into acting, and I just wanted to be a cop, and things like that, and I have no reflex control. So Whoopi Goldberg, excuse me, hi Whoopi, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, just to get that clear. Whoopi Goldberg had made a valid point, and she said it, and she got criticized for it, and she paid for it for quite some time. You know, it was like back when she was becoming Guinan on Star Trek. So Whoopi, yeah, you know I'm a fan if I can throw you back to Guinan on Star Trek, plus Gaia from Captain Planet. So way back then, Whoopi Goldberg had something happen. I don't know what happened, but they said something about Whoopi Goldberg, and they told her that because she was African American, etc., etc. She said, I'm not African American. I am black. Alright? And, you know, a lot of people, whenever she had said that, a lot of things went around with, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And Whoopi Goldberg would know what I'm talking about more than anybody else. And the 37 followers that I have here, you guys probably don't know all that. And there's probably not a whole need for it. But Whoopi Goldberg was once, I guess you could say she was quoted saying, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm not African American. My ass is not from Africa. I have African roots in my ancestry, but I myself am black, not African American. So many years later, this is still a big stink for a lot of people because a lot of people don't want to get unattached to the African American side, so they're like, oh, well, we're African American. I was like, no, I'm like Whoopi Goldberg. I'm black. And then the fact that my bloodline has a lot more Native American blood in it than it has African blood. So I don't really know what to call myself, to be honest, outside of I'm a mutt and proud of it. So like I said, my dad's dad was black. So my dad looked black. My dad's mom's Native American. Her mom before her is Native American. So I got Native American in me. Same with my mom's side. And if you guys see my mom's dad looked like a white man with a tan. If you see my brother, he looks like a white man with a tan, just with black hair. But he has good black hair. Not as good as mine, but he has good black hair. Now, my brother and I don't have the same daddy. So that being said, my mom and my dad were married, and then after the divorce, everybody else come through. So my big sister and I were the only ones with the closer to full-blooded Native American genes than everyone else, because everybody else just get the Native American genes from our mother, who got it from her mother. You understand how that dichotomy works? And they get the white gene from my mother's father, who's one of his parents was white. I don't know if it was the father or the mother, but one of them was white, and they were from Nelson County. And his last name is Rose. And again, he looked like a white man with a tan. He did not look like he was a black man. In fact, like my mom, he could pass for a white person. So yeah, my family dichotomy is really fucked up. So when people say, are you African American? I say, no, but I am black. You know, and a lot of people be like, well, there's a difference? Say, fuck yeah, there's a difference. Alright? Now, a lot of Americans that are black claim to be African American, but that's only because of their ancestry. And they would be right, except for the fact that they're not African American. They were born here. Now, if their mother was born in Africa and she came here and had a baby and they were born here, then that's where the lines are a little bit closer to them being actual African Americans. Alright? But their moms, if they immigrated here, they're the African Americans because they immigrated here. The blacks who were born here, hey, let's keep that shit real. We're just blacks. And I have friends from Africa that have come here and they're doing better than I am. But you know, they're from Africa. They literally are from Africa. Did they ask me what part? I know they're not from Wakanda. But at the same time, I do know that they are black. Wakanda forever. But anyway, the thing is, alright, for everybody who went to go see Black Panther, I hate to break it to everybody, but the only black person there was supposed to be Michael B. Jordan. Because he was born in America. So he's black American. His dad was African American, literally African, but not really American, but he was really the only African American there. But technically he was the only black American there. Everyone else was supposed to be from Africa. Now, I don't know how many of those actors actually are African. If that makes sense to you, then I've done my job. Now, if it doesn't make sense to you, then you're on the same fence as me, because some of those actors only have the accent while acting. That's why it's called acting. Alright? Could I ever play an African? Not without shaving my head. Not a fucking option. This shit ain't going nowhere. I'm growing it until I'm 50, and I'm only 44. So I have 6 years to go. This shit is staying. Because it's like the really only thing I have to my Native American heritage is my hair. And maybe my face. But, you know, as far as everything else goes, I'm a black man. You know, I get pulled over. I'm just as black as everyone else. When they pull over and look at my ID, it has the identification of my ethnicity on there. At least it used to. I don't know if they've changed that shit since the last time I got a driver's license. I can tell you in a minute. Let's see. It's got 5-3. It's got my expiration date. It's got my date of birth. It's got my gender. It's got my class. It does not have my ethnic background on this bitch. Well, unless there's something that I'm missing. But it doesn't have anything on there that states what color I am. Not on the front, not on the back. Let me pull out my other identification holder. I know when I was younger it had black male on there. Well, this one doesn't have it either. Just date of birth and other stuff. I know one of the licenses that I had, like my very first license where my face is sideways, the profile shot, it had black male on there. Now I guess that everybody's racially sensitive, so they don't have that. But for the most part, you know, there is a difference, and a lot of black people don't understand. You are black. You are not African American unless you are African and you immigrated and got your American citizenship. That's what would make you an African American. Unfortunately, a lot of black people aren't intelligent enough to read between the lines and take that the way it's supposed to be taken, which is politely, because Whoopi got a lot of flack for it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but it's the fucking truth. If your ass wasn't born in Africa, you were born here, you have African ancestors, but I hate to tell you, your ass is black. Deal with it. But a lot of people can't do that. And when they can't do that, it becomes a problem. A really big problem. And when you can't deal with your problems tend to go from being really small to colossal. So, if you don't like that, I can only tell you that I follow what Whoopi Goldberg says. I probably follow it more to the letter because of the fact that I am multicultural. And when people ask me what I am, I tell them I'm 1,000% mutt. Because it's the only answer I actually have, unless they want to go into the dichotomy of what I went into with my ancestry. When I was younger, and I worked at Kegler's, and this is the last story I'm going to end this with. Most of my life, I've actually had to prove to people that I'm black. Thought I'd throw that in there before I start the story. When I was younger, and I worked at Kegler's, this one dude called me Chief my entire tour working at Kegler's. He would never call me by my name, even though my name tag was right there in capital black fucking letters. He would never call me James. Every day he see me, what's up, Chief? How's it going, Chief? And I know Chief was a thing back in those days, like in the middle 90s, early to middle 90s. And Dude Diamond Phillips, actually Filipino, played a Native American. So that also proves the point that Native Americans are Asian. And he in the movie Renegades, hated being called Chief. And that would make him go off on the warpath. And it so happened that I was finally like accepting my Native American half until this guy kept calling me Chief. Then I would be mad every day that I have to go to work because every day I'd go to work, this guy would be there. And he would keep calling me Chief. And so when we sit here and we have these debates about African American or black, no, I have to explain to people, I am part black. And I'm like, yeah, sure you're part black. We thought you were Mexican. And there's a story for that too. I was in Spanish class in college, and the lady was from Spain. And she told me that I shouldn't have a problem speaking Spanish because I'm Mexican. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I hate to tell you this, but I'm not a Mexican. I said, I am part Cherokee, and I am part black. I said, there's a tiny bit of white in there too, but I am not Mexican. I don't speak Spanish. I don't live in a Spanish-speaking home. If you come to my house, you will see that every one of me and my siblings have different colors and different looks because of our genetic makeup being multicultural. Now, I'll be first to spit this out because most of my family members, they deny all of our culture except for the black culture. They don't accept their Native American side, they don't accept their white side, and they only accept their black side. And I'm like, but you're not just black. You're more than that. You need to learn your culture. And this works on my daddy's side too. Everyone only accepts their black side. They don't accept their Native American side. So here's how this works. My dad's dad was black. My dad's mom was Native American. They were raised basically black. They were never raised on a reservation. They've never gone to a reservation. Great-grandma Ada told them stories. She told me stories. But she never did anything Native American. You know, she never ever did Native American shit. She never did the peace pipe. She did have a hatchet, for what that's worth. I think I have it somewhere. She did a lot of other stuff, but she never really told them anything. But she told me lots of Native American stories, and I'm like, you know, it's a shame that at 4, 5, and 6, I'm remembering this shit now. But she told me the stories, and then my Aunt Ruth slapped me in the face with some reality. And she goes, your grandma Ada was a wee bit prejudiced. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. It's not that she didn't love us. She just didn't love how we were brought into this world. She had much rather her daughter had found a Native American man instead of a black man. So when my aunt told me, I was like, okay, so what does that mean? She said, why do you think Ada was always around y'all? She's like, she liked all y'all light-skinned kids. She didn't like the dark-skinned kids because the dark-skinned kids were more black-looking, where the light-skinned kids were more Native American-looking. Now, I'm sorry, my great-grandmother's long dead and gone, and I can only apologize for her thoughts and actions, but it's not my fault that that's how she felt that way. And my Aunt Ruth said it's not her fault that that's how she felt that way. When you have mixed kids, you don't know what you're going to get until the damn thing pops out. So, some traits are stronger, and then he's like, well, my Aunt Ruth was like, well, since you have white on your mother's side, as well as black, as well as Native American, lo and behold, you pop out yellow. So, there you go. And if you guys seen my mom looks like a white lady. I've lost her in a crowd of white people. That's why I nicknamed her Premium Blend, because she blends right the fuck in on the premium style. But the whole thing is, when it comes to being black or being African American, Whoopi Goldberg has it right, and you guys can fight her if you want, because you're not gonna fight me, because I'll put an arrow through your chest. But the whole thing is, I don't like being called African American. I don't have a problem being called black because I am black, but I'm also Native American. And the only time that it's ever really a fucking issue is when I go fill out a job and I mark black, and they'll be like, Mr. Williams, are you sure you're black? My last name is Williams. How fucking black is that? It's not black? Is there another black name that's hyper than Williams? I mean, Ash Williams is white on the Ash vs. Evil Dead, but, there's a lot of black Williamses. There's a lot of black Smiths. But most of those are our slave owners' last names. So whatever slave owner owned my grandfather, if he was even a slave, or my great-grandfather, or whatever the hell the Williams came from, that's how we got the name. Most people of color have slave last names. Whatever their names were when they were African is long gone. And it's the same thing with my great-grandmother, Ada. Her last name was Wallace. I don't know how the hell she got that, because she's full-blooded Cherokee, and most Cherokees really didn't have last names. I guess they took them when we were indoctrinated into American society, or European version of society. So depending on how you want to slice that, that's it in a nutshell. So, I am who I am. I prefer to be called black, not African American, and you guys can please accept that. Or if you want to be really nice, just call me by my fucking name. That's how you solve that problem. Just call me by my name. My name is James. And if you want to pull me off to the side and ask me, Mr. Williams, I need to know, what is your actual nationality? Well, my actual nationality is I'm American. No, that's not what I mean, Mr. Williams. I mean your ethnic background. Oh, you want to know what my fucking race is? Okay, well, here's how this works. My dad's dad was black. His mother and her mother before her were Cherokee Indian from the Powell Heights Reservation somewhere down in Richmond. My mom's mom's Native American. She's Cherokee Indian. And my mom's dad was mixed with black and white. So I am a very mixed person. And that's the best I can give you. I'm James Williams Jr. Accept you for who you are. Accept me for who I am. And let's just be human. Enough said. Be seeing ya. I'm sorry you can't get this 20 minutes of your life back. But you've watched the video now. Gotta go.